So in today's video, we're going to go through and look at the Robert Greene classic, The 50th Law. The 50th Law was written by both Robert Greene and Curtis Jackson, who you might know him as the rapper as 50 Cent. But before we go ahead and get started here today, if you'd like to find out what your odds are of becoming a millionaire, be sure to take our performance-based personality test, because there are two personality traits that are the greatest predictors of wealth. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll be able to take this personality test up in the upper right-hand corner. Or if you're watching this anywhere else on the internet, you'll find a link for that down in the resources section. Now, if you're new to our channel, I'd like to welcome you. However, if you're a returning subscriber, you're probably here because of one of the Robert Greene classics, whether that be The Art of Seduction, the 48 Laws of Power, or the 50th Law. Now, the 48 Laws of Power is designed to protect yourselves from those who would take advantage. But one of the personality traits that you're going to need in order to do so is a trait known as conscientiousness. Now, if you saw our other video where we did talk about what I learned and what I had to overcome in order to, in the 48 Laws of Power, what I had to overcome in order to stop letting people take advantage of me. And the problem was that I had this trait known as agreeableness. I was a highly agreeable person. And so in order to learn the lessons from this book, The 50th Law, I had to start developing these traits known as conscientiousness, which is the way to overcome fear and to be fearless. So just imagine, think of yourself, think of how successful that you could be in life if you didn't have any fear. Now, approximately 100 years ago or so, the late, great Andrew Carnegie, who at the time was the richest person on the earth, and he wanted to find out what the difference was between what made him successful and why people failed in life. And so he went out and he hired Napoleon Hill to go out and do this 25-year study on all the richest and most successful people at the time. Now, the book Think and Grow Rich, it's a lot of times, the idea behind that is it's teaching you how to be financially successful. But this 25-year study was not only about financial success, but just about success in general. What are the qualities, what are the traits that you need to develop in order to be successful in anything? And they found out that there are 17 principles that make a person successful, 33 principles of why people fail, and what they call as the 6 basic fears, which is what causes people to self-sabotage themselves. So this book, the 50th Law, is really how to overcome these basic fears and to stop letting people or circumstances sabotage yourself into failure. So at one time, our civilization, and still there's places on earth that still have to face this, but we were under constant threat of survival. And so we had food shortages, we had to worry about our food, we had to worry about, other civilizations attacking us. If you live in the ghettos, the cities, you might be involved in gangs, you have to worry about those threats, you have to worry about your safety. But once our civilization progressed to a certain point, we didn't have to worry so much about about our daily survival. We still might have situations where we have to be fearful, but we didn't have to worry about our daily survival. And then we started turning and looking for what they call as imagined fears. So we began having fears about that you didn't want to look stupid, that what is our status in life, what about our financial fears. And a lot of times we attach financial fears to the threat of survival. And it's not, if you ran out of money in America, nobody's going to let you starve. The government, people are going to help you out. You're not going to starve. You're not going to die. You might go through some trials in some situations, but another book, which is called The Greatest Secret, one of the things that they talk about in that book is that the American civilization, the American culture is designed for you not to fail. It's not necessarily designed for you to succeed, and you have to learn how to develop some of these traits for you to succeed, but our modern day civilizations will not let you fail. And so when we go through some of these, again, imagined fears, we start to dwell on those fears. And those fears turn into anxieties. Now, imagine this. Imagine that you're out in the Serengeti and imagine you're in the wild. Because we, as humans, we imagine that we're so much more civilized, but we're really just animals. So if you're out in the Serengeti, and let's say you're a zebra, and a zebra, or excuse me, a lion chases you. You run away from the lion, and then what happens after the threat is gone? Well, you go back to eating and hanging out with your zebra buddies. And so you don't go around, hey Bob. You don't say to another zebra, let's say the other zebra is Bob, you don't say to Bob, hey Bob, did you see what happened? We almost died, we almost got chased by, we almost got caught by a lion. And Bob says, lay off, man, what's the big deal? The threat's gone. But again, that's not the way our brains work, because as humans we have three brains. We have our inner brain, middle brain, and outer brain, and so we can logically think about anxieties and think about the fears, and that's why we get so stuck in a rut. That's why we have PTSD and different issues like that. Now, the brain is not designed for you to be happy, it's designed for you to survive. And so what happens, again, we manufacture these different fears. And so what scientists have found out, neuroscientists have found out, is that when we are in depressions and when we have anxieties, our brain actually shrinks. So do you think that we're going to be able to perform at our best? So when actual fears do occur, do you think that we're going to actually be able to perform at our best? Absolutely not. What's going to happen is we're going to shrink back. Now, and so what ends up happening, in the book, they talk about FDR when they went to the Great Depression, and people had more fear than was necessary. And you've probably heard of speech, the only thing that we have to fear is fear itself. So they were more fearful of the fear than the actual situations that were going on in their life. And so fear becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more you run away from fear, the more that threat comes after you, and the more likely you're going to experience a bad situation. So let's say in the case of business, I know a lot of times, even myself, I have faced this. You know, we fear opening ourselves up. We fear filming YouTube videos. We fear getting on the phone and doing a sales call, and we fear opening ourselves up to people. But the more that we fear, and we're fearing that because we're fearing that we're going to look stupid and things aren't going to work out right, and then we're going to have financial difficulties. But the more that we run away from those obstacles, the more that poverty and some of the other financial issues will come after us. So the more that again, fear becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more that we run away from fear, the more that those things that we're running away from us is going to be more likely to end up in our life. So the purpose of the 50th law is to become fearless and overcome this fear bias, and that way we can protect ourselves and avoid self-sabotaging ourselves. Because again, there's 6 basic fears, and those fears end up causing us to self-sabotage ourselves. So again, the 50th law is about overcoming those fears, becoming fearless, and so we will not end up self-sabotaging ourselves. Whether that comes to, you know, being successful in business, finances, or relationships, if you're fearful of you know, talking to women or whatever the situation is, you'll overcome that fear, and so you will not end up self-sabotaging yourself. So this is the first video in a series of videos that we're going to talk about that talks about this book, The 50th Law. So again, if you haven't done so already, I want to encourage you to take our performance-based personality test, because there are 2 personality traits that are the greatest predictors of wealth, and that way you'll see what your odds are of becoming a millionaire. Now, chances are you don't have these personality traits. That's why you're going through the 48 laws of power. That's why you're going through the 50th law. That's why you're going through these different books. But when you go through our performance-based personality test, we will teach you and walk you through on how to cultivate this personality trait, and so you will be not only financially successful, but you'll be able to be more successful in everything in life. And if you're watching this video on YouTube, you'll find the link for that in the upper right hand corner. Or if you're watching this anywhere else, be sure to check out the resources section. But take care, everyone. Have a great day. I had a blast recording this video for you here today. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you like this series and like more videos, to be notified anytime we release another video within this series. Hit the subscribe button and then hit the notification bell. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the like button. But take care, everyone. Have a great day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.